Hi, welcome to class. In today's class, I wanted to give you some exercises that are going to help to improve your ankle, knee, and hip mobility. As a result, these exercises will also help with your spinal mobility because what happens with the legs and the hips directly feeds into your spine. These exercises are also going to be very important if you have a history of ankle and knee issues that are preventing you from accessing some of the poses or causing you discomfort in the poses. By integrating these exercises a couple of times a week with some rest in between, these exercises can help to restore your range of motion and to give you strength and mobility. Now you might be saying to yourself, I don't have any issues with those things. Well, these are going to help to get into deep squats and to be able to move with more freedom in your yoga practice. If you're still saying to yourself, I don't really have any room to improve there, then you could practice one of the previous yoga classes. But I think that regardless, you may find these helpful. Personally, I'll just share my own experience. I had some ankle stuff, like I had an ankle injury from when I was real young, and then I had a knee that I thought was fully healed, but still there were some yoga poses that I could feel it in, it didn't move perfectly in. When I integrated these exercises, I was able to move in a way that I never thought I'd be able to move again. And it gave me access into certain movements that I thought just weren't going to be able to go for me. So I think that you'll be able to find these exercises really helpful regardless. And they're going to be very helpful for people who have knee issues in general. So let's get started with these exercises with a little warm-up first. Before we get into these exercises, I want to show you a warm-up to help to mobilize the muscles in your feet, the joints in your feet, and your ankles to help to prepare you for the exercise that we're going to do. So a great technique is to practice walking backwards. You can do it flat, then progress it to uphill. But I want to break down the component parts and put it into an exercise warm-up that you can do as well. So what's important when you go to walk backwards is that you're able to put some stretch into the big toe. It's very important that we have this flex in the big toe and that we can strengthen and mobilize through it. So we'll come into this position and then push into the foot and step back. So it's just a forward lunge. And then using the press into the back foot to come back up. And we can do that 12 times. Now, if you're not as confident, you can put your hand onto something, a wall, a table, to help for stability, especially if you have any knee issues. If the knees are healthy, you can do it without, and focus on driving to the back foot to come back up to stand. If you're very mobile, you can take a bigger step and lower the knee further. Let me show you on the other leg now, going 12 times. So I step forward, and then depending on the flexibility, I can lower down a lot or lower down a little. But what's important is the back foot press. So as I go to step, I load, I press through the ball of the big toe and come up to stand. So I'm using the muscles of the back leg to help me to come up to stand instead of favoring the front foot. So real easily I can push off the front foot, and that's not really what I'm looking for in this. Instead, I'm looking for the back foot. And you get the same benefit by walking backwards as well. But really important to feel these component parts of the big toe, the muscles in the ankle, and the knee helping to push you and propel you. Now let's get into the 4 exercises. So for this first exercise, you're just going to stand with your back against the wall and your feet about 18 inches away from the wall. We're going to start by lifting up the toes and engaging the anterior tibialis. So as you hold the toes up, I want you to feel those muscles contract, even like you're trying to tighten your kneecaps, and then slowly lower the feet down. And work up to doing 20 of these. So by strengthening your ankles through their full range of motion, improving the mobility of the ankle, we're going to help to strengthen all around the bottom of the knee, which is going to help with its strength and mobility. So usually when we have problems with the joint, if we look right above it and below it and help to improve the health of those joints, we're going to help with that joint as well. Then let's flip around and we're going to do some calf raises from a stretch position. So position yourself far enough away from the wall to where you start to feel a stretch in your calf and your ankle. Then from there, lift up onto the toes. And instead of letting the feet twist out, I want you to press right in between the big toe mound and the second toe mound. Slowly control yourself down and then lift back up, and we'll do 20 of those. Then flip around and we're going to go right back to the anterior tibialis. Now, if you're doing this barefoot, I'd recommend having a mat underneath your heels. It's just going to help to cushion the heel a little bit. Then flip around and we're going to do some calf raises again. This time we're going to do with the bent knee. We're going to let the knee go over the toe. This is an important position because when you're walking downstairs, when you're jumping, when you're landing, your knee has to travel past your toe. So we want to strengthen that range of motion for the health of the knee. So lift up and let your knees come past your toes. And as you get better at this, you'll let the knees come further and further forward. But as you're just starting off, you'll just let the knee come a little bit in front of the toe. Lift up high onto the toe mounds, and instead of letting the weight twist out, press right in between the big toe mound and second toe mound. And then stretch your heels down. So you're strengthening into the stretched position, which is called the eccentric. And then lift back up. Eccentrics are the king of building strength in your body. So if you really want to bulletproof a joint, first we just want to be able to stretch that joint, improve its ability to stretch through full range of motion. Then we do isometrics, which through your yoga program you've already been doing. And then adding eccentric loading is really the best. And once you get really strong at these two exercises for the calves, you can make it more challenging by putting all your weight on one foot. But for now, let's just stick to both feet. And maybe after you've done this a couple times a week for a month, you can try the one-legged variation. So once you can do those exercises without any pain, then you can try the next step, which I mentioned, just being able to walk down a stair. You need a certain amount of movement of the knee being able to go past the toe, a certain amount of dorsiflexion. And to help to strengthen this, we're going to train this exact movement, which is called the Patrick step, or the beginning of a pistol squat type movement. So we're going to break it down into its fundamental component. Just the primary phase is being able to lean and let your knee start to go forward past your toe and just tap your heel in front of you and then come back up. Now, depending on how much mobility and strength you have at this point, you can just do a little tap or a big tap. And then change sides. Once you become really comfortable with these two movements, then you can try the level 2 version of the Bulletproofing the Knee series. If you have any questions, drop them below, and make sure to practice this sequence 2 to 3 times a week. As you get more confident, you can increase the repetitions to 25 of each. And then in the next month, you can try the one-legged. All right. Hope this helps you to get on the path to strengthening and bulletproofing your knees. And you can click, if you're ready to try the level 2, you can see that linked in the end card here. Have a good one. See you next time. Thanks for watching this class. If you enjoyed these exercises, these were inspired by the Knees Over Toes program. If you haven't checked out that program, I'm going to put the link below. It's been very helpful for me in bulletproofing my knees and my ankles, and it helped me to recover from a really bad ankle injury. So make sure to check that out, and also check out the level 2 video.